Isn't Christmas the best time of the year? Barbara asked in a cheery tone after she drank her cup of eggnog. Of course. Everyone waits patiently for the year to go by for this day, Laura said, watching the children opening the presents. The house was packed with people, mostly with Laura's family, people she knew, and family members she didn't remember. Everyone was all around the Christmas tree on the floor or couches. All that Laura would hear was the family talking to one another and the sound of paper being ripped open. She had a cup of tea in her hands, and a jolly smile printed on her face as she looked at the children she usually only saw once or twice a year. One kid got a toy dinosaur in a box, while a little girl received nail polish and a Barbie doll with a dark blue dress on. The teens opened their presents to find money and electronics, like $20 to $30 or a new phone. Adults in the family got cards, little decorations, and other useless items. Sarah, who was Barbara's daughter, entered into the back of the tree to see if she could find any stowaway gifts hiding in the back. There she found a small present with very plain light blue wrapping paper. It seemed it was wrapped in a hurry, like someone completely forgot about Laura and gave her something random. Sarah waved at Laura, but she didn't notice her, even when she called to her. "Hey, sis, she's flagging you down over there," Barbara said as she pointed where Sarah was. Laura looked to where Barbara was pointing at and saw the gift in Sarah's hand. She got up and walked towards her, dodging children and opened empty boxes with holiday wrapping paper at their sides along the way. Laura bent down and grabbed the present, saying thank you to Sarah as she went back to sit down. The wrapping paper was poorly done, but the box itself looked exquisite. The box was painted in dark green detailed vines all around it, wrapping against one another as it went around the box. The box itself was a light brown tan color that looked like the sand directly off the beach. "Wow, that looks wonderful. Open it," Barbara said, waiting anxiously for the revealing of what was in the box. Laura opened it diligently, as to not damage the box itself, as if it were a piece of priceless art. As she opened it, all she could hear from her point of view now was Barbara's breathing directly next to her, blocking everything else that was going on. Inside was a white circle that wasn't very tall inside of the box. She reached in and got it out. It was a plain white oval container with purple bold lettering saying, "Quick Removal Mud Mask." Great, another bathroom product, Laura thought as she gave it to Barbara so she could look at it. "Thank you, She tried to yell but quickly stopped. She rapidly tried to find a name on the wrapping paper that wasn't her own, but found nothing. Barbara handed it back to Laura so she could find out who it was from. "Who gave this to me?" Laura said in a confused, rushed tone. Everyone just stared at her, mostly silent, until everyone responded with, they didn't know or it wasn't me. No one had the intentions to give her something for the reunion other than Barbara, again as every year. She then placed the mud mask into the artistic box, and everything went back to normal. Maybe it was someone that left early. At least you got something from someone else, Barbara said with a small smile on her face. "Yeah, well, thanks for having the reunion at your place. My place is way too small for all of these people," she said, also with a smile on her face. Barbara responded with a smile and said she was going to meet with other people, so she left to the other side of the house. Laura wasn't a people person. Maybe that's why she doesn't usually get anything for the holidays other than from her sister. She waited patiently for the next 3 hours to pass by. As the last of the family members left, Laura felt relieved and sighed. She quickly went to Barbara, who just entered the living room. "Can I stay here for the night and leave in the morning?" Laura asked. "Of course. You can stay here for as long as you like in the guest bedroom upstairs," Laura said with a happy expression on her face. Laura helped Barbara with cleaning the house. The wrapping paper that was all around the tree, the dishes that needed to be done, etc. As she was done, she wished Barbara a good night's sleep, as well as Sarah, and picked up her one gift and headed toward her old room, since she did live here before getting a house of her own. This room was now the guest room. The room was very plain and white, with a closet, a dresser, and a little table next to her bed with an alarm clock on it. The room was not how she remembered it to be. She had loved living here with her sister before. The room had a bathroom that connected to Barbara's room on the other side. She hadn't brought any of her own things, like cleansing pads, makeup, toothbrush, clothes, but she didn't care. All she wanted was to feel the comfort of people that she knew around her, instead of being in her quiet, empty little home. She took a better look at the alarm clock. It was 12:36 a.m. She headed toward the bathroom and looked at herself in the mirror. She looked tired. but she needed to get the makeup off of her face. So she looked into the cabinet and found alcohol and cotton balls. Well, better than nothing, she said as she doused the cotton ball with the alcohol and applied it to her face as she wiped the makeup off. As she was done, she thought, might as well try out my new gift. She took the mud mask out of the box and opened it. Inside was the purple mud. She looked at the directions and saw it was completely easy to apply. She applied it everywhere and instantly felt it working. And as she looked at herself in the mirror, she saw that she looked like Barney the dinosaur. Laura then turned off the light and headed toward the bed. As she plummeted onto her old bed, it felt just the way she had remembered it to be. It was the only thing that felt familiar in her old room. She started to slowly close her eyes. They soon collided with each other, making her see only darkness, and fell into a deep, restful sleep. The next morning around 8, Barbara's daughter came upstairs to notify that her mom made breakfast for everyone. As she quickly ran up the stairs and skipped down the hallway, she stood in front of Laura's room and said, "Aunt Laura, breakfast." No response. She then reached for the dark yellow doorknob and turned it. And as she opened the door, her eyes widened. She screamed at the top of her lungs for a few moments before running back downstairs. What she saw was Laura, but her face wasn't there anymore. It was burned completely off. The eyes and eyelids along with her brows melted into a liquid deep into the hollow sockets, and a pool of the remains was left in her empty skull. The flesh was burned and boiled to a crisp. Pus bubbles where the skin ended on the face and flesh was dangling on the sides with shades of red underneath. Her nose was completely melted off, and her tongue along with her cheeks, gums, and the whole inside of her mouth was gone, leaving only skull-white teeth visible. Inside of the bathroom was the container of the mud mask. There was a little detail that she missed directly in front of her eyes. A warning label right under the directions. It read, "Do not apply with alcohol before use. Most importantly, do not sleep while product is in contact with the face or skin." The only things that remained were the screams of Sarah and the pattern of rushed footsteps coming up the stairs, and the question as to who gave her this gift was never answered. Well, boys and girls, Christmas is now quickly approaching. Maybe a few of you got a gift idea here. Maybe some of you got a warning. Either way, You can almost feel the Christmas spirit breathing down your neck, can't you? Maybe it's something else entirely. Until next time, ho, ho, ho.